You ever wake up and realize your home isn't just a place, it's a hill you might have to fight for? I'm not saying that as a metaphor either. I mean it every word. Because one Tuesday, I learned that in America, you can do everything right. Keep your fence straight, pay your dues, mind your own goats, and it still isn't enough. When someone with a clipboard and a grudge decides you're in their way, let me set the scene. I come back from an early morning out hunting with Ranger, my dog part mutt, part genius, all heart. And I just know something's wrong. It's not the way the grass looks or the quiet air. It's the fact that Ranger isn't barking. He's not even sniffing for rabbits. He's just standing dead still, eyes fixed on the front gate, which is swinging wide open. That gate never moves unless I move it. Not a chance. And then I see them, a sheriff's cruiser, a black SUV humming like it's hiding something, and some guy with mirrored sunglasses just sitting there watching. The deputy on my porch looks like he just learned Santa isn't real, trying to act tough with one hand near his gun and the other holding a clipboard. And there she is, Lisa from the HOA, standing so still and polished. You'd think she was waiting for a news crew to show up. Mr. Tierney, the deputy says, voice thin as paper, I need to give you this notice of temporary property seizure. I have to laugh because what else do you do when someone tries to take your ranch over a fence that's been there for years? For what I ask, even though I know the answer is going to be some HOA code nonsense. Lisa smiles like she's carved from cold butter. Your fence is too high. No livestock exemption. Now I know this is more than goats and fence posts. Ranger starts pawing at the ground, and sure enough, uncovers a magnetic tracker somebody's been playing spy games on my property. I hold it up. The deputy goes white, but Lisa, she just says, we're within our rights to monitor compliance. Sure, Lisa. Next, you'll tell me the fence grew all by itself. Now, if you've ever tangled with an HOA, you know they love paperwork more than sunshine. So I head down to the county office and find Deputy Kyle Goodkid trapped in a bad spot. He types he searches, but there's nothing legal about the order they tried to serve. Lisa just dug up some ancient bylaw no one's enforced since disco was popular. She's working with someone, Kyle mutters. And the way he looks at the floor tells me he's not just talking about the HOA board. Enter my buddy Mitch, retired Navy conspiracy theory enthusiast, always 3 cups of coffee ahead of everyone else. He brings his laptop and shows me thermal scans of my property color-coded lines, tracking me, my dog, even the route I take for morning chores. They want this land, he says, and it ain't about a fence. There's a pipeline going in, Jack. Your ranch is the last piece of the puzzle. If that doesn't twist your stomach, try this later that week. My old neighbor Bill shows up after dark, looking like he's seen a ghost. He's got 2 kids, a mortgage, and sweat on his brow. I'm sorry, Jack, he stammers. They said if I signed statements about your land being unsafe, I'd be left alone. He hands me affidavits with his own name on them, accusing me of stockpiling illegal ammo and planning revenge against the HOA. I tell him straight. You believed them over me. The man who patched your roof last year. He can't answer, just shuffles off into the dark. Next night, the real fun starts. I wake up to Ranger pacing. He's in full alert mode, that deep, steady growl rumbling in his chest. I kill the lights and watch the cameras. 3 guys moving in formation, flashlights low heading for my barn and the water tank. Not deputies, these are private muscle. I set off a rigged flare boom, 10 feet of magnesium white light. Ranger charges. I circle behind and catch one of the guys just as the others scatter. They drop a clipboard with my land mapped out in detailed patrol routes and a note escalation required. They want me to know I'm surrounded. Lisa shows up the next afternoon acting like it's just business, no big deal. She hands me a resolution proposal. Walk away in 30 days and all is forgiven. You stand out, she says, trying to sound reasonable. People like you disrupt the flow. I laugh in her face. This isn't about compliance, Lisa. You want what's under my land, and you'll sell your own neighbors to get it. She doesn't deny it. She just walks away with that tight little smile, like she's got the last move, and I just haven't seen it yet. I don't sleep much after that. Can you blame me? I dig around the dry well on the south side, find a sealed steel hatch under a layer of old concrete. Mitch cracks it open with a torch. Inside it's cold and stale, some kind of old government bunker. Mitch checks the serials. Turns out it's tied to a DARPA project, classified long forgotten by the folks in Washington, but not by whoever's pulling Lisa's strings. Now I know what they're after, and I know they're not going to stop. And sure enough, 2 days later, it's full-on showdown. SUVs of box truck guys in tactical vests and earpieces, rolling up like they own the place. Their leader steps out all swagger and no patience says, "We're here under emergency compliance to seize property. I lock my gate, set off a gravel charge. Nothing lethal, but enough to scare them straight." Ranger goes flying at the guy near the barn, takes him down, and suddenly everyone's guns are up. I raise mine. You want this ranch, you're going to have to do more than push paper. Their leader hesitates just for a second and calls for retreat. As they're leaving, the youngest guy in the group pulls me aside, whispers, "It's not about code. It's what's buried underneath." He won't say more, but that's all I need. Later that night, Bill shows up again this time, shaking so bad he can barely hold the folder in his hands. "They're moving soon, Jack. Not the HOA. Bigger. Colder. I'm just a liability now." Inside the folder, proof photos, signatures, payments, everything tying Lisa to federal contractors. I stash it, make copies, send them to folks I trust. So I do what any stubborn old soldier would do. I march right into the next HOA meeting, Ranger at my heel, and lay it all out for everyone to see. Drone footage, thermal scans, backroom deals, Lisa's own words on tape. Just push hard enough and he'll fold, if not escalate. The room goes dead quiet. Lisa tries to play it off, but everyone knows. The board resigns. Lisa vanishes, and just like that, the so-called authority collapses. A week later, I get a card in the mail. No signature, no return address. Just a picture of Ranger's kennel circled in red, and the words, "Next time, the dog won't be a factor." You'd think I'd be scared, but all I can do is shake my head, because if the only way you can win is by threatening a man's dog, you already lost. Now it's quiet again. Just me, Ranger, and the land. I fix the fence by hand, not because I have to, but because it matters, because it's mine. And every time I watch Ranger patrol that ridge, I'm reminded that justice doesn't always come from a courtroom. Sometimes you've got to make your own. But tell me this. If you were in my boots, would you fight? Or would you fold? Where do you draw the line when the law and the truth don't live in the same house? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because the world's full of folks who want your story to end their way, unless you're stubborn enough to write your own.